Now, finally, I want to lead back to our very distinguished guest, former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, Kevin Hassett. Kevin today filed a sizzling National Review piece showing that there is no such thing as a free lunch. If the government is going to shell out $5 trillion in assistance, somebody, sometimes, is going to have to pay for it. And you're not going to believe how much my fellow taxpayers are going to pay for it. Get ready. It's unpleasant. But he's a good guy. Kevin Hassett, we welcome him back to the show, former CEA chair.
Thanks.
All right, Kevin, so there's a great piece, shocking piece, sizzling piece. How much are people going to have to pay to finance all this big spending?
Well, it depends on what your income is, of course. And what my co-author, Matt Jensen, and I did at National Review today is that we, building on a big body of previous work, just assumed that the current distribution of taxes across income brackets is the way they're going to have to ultimately pay for all the stimulus, the $5.3 trillion over the last year. And if you make that assumption, and it's going to be pretty close to that, the rich just don't have enough money to pay for the $5.3 trillion, then the numbers you get are really astonishing. So if your income right now is between $75,000 and $100,000, your tax bill for the stimulus of the last year is $27,000. If your income is between $100,000 and $200,000, your tax bill is $51,000. Just for the stimulus of the last year. And if you're really, really lucky and you've got an income above $500,000 and less than $1 million, then your tax bill for the stimulus is going to be $304,000. And so I think the thing that's useful about those calculations that Matt and I did is that they help you really sort of conceive of the scale of what was done in the last year. And some of it you designed, I think, rightly because of COVID. So I'm not saying you shouldn't have had any stimulus last year, but the point is the bill for it is just extraordinarily large. And so again, if your income's between $100,000 and $200,000, then your personal bill for the stimulus that got us through the COVID crisis is more than $50,000. It's like getting a new car without having any wheels or engine or anything.
I think if we could put it up on the screen, we have a picture of the chart that you showed in the National Review article. We should put that up. But Kevin, so let me add, yeah, there it is. You can see the more you make, the more you pay. And the more you make and the more you pay, the more the stimulus is going to make you pay even more. Now, Kevin, I want to ask you this. Our friends on the Democratic side constantly tell us that the wealthiest among us do not pay their fair share. Does your work show that?
Well, I guess that what fair is and isn't is like for philosophers, not economists, right? But the thing that I can tell you is that the progressivity of the income tax in the U.S. is about as progressive as any place on earth. And in fact, if you look at Europe, they raise a heck of a lot of their money with value-added taxes that sort of hit everybody. But in the U.S., we're getting a lot of our tax from the income tax, which is really inefficient and very, very progressive. And so this idea that the rich are getting away with murder and not paying taxes is just really incorrect in the U.S. And again, relative to those OECD countries you mentioned for the corporate tax, we're actually less or more progressive than a lot of them. We do less.
Right, we are more progressive. So I'm just looking.
We are more progressive.
Look at from your article today, $75,000 income, you pay 12%. 75 and less, you pay 12% of total taxes. 75,000, though, 75 to 200,000 income, you pay 34%. And then you say above that 200,000, they pay the rest. What is the rest? I mean, if you're making more than 200,000, is it 40%, 45%? Do you recall?
Oh, yeah, the rest is just it adds up to 100, because basically the people with incomes below that aren't paying income tax at all. In fact, some of them are getting, at the bottom, they're getting refunds for it. And so, yeah, I mean, basically above 200,000, that's where the lion's share of tax revenue comes from already. And
so it could be 50%. Could be 50%.
Excuse me?
Could be 50%.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but the thing that's really striking about it, though, is that there's a difference between maybe say a doctor or a lawyer who's making $1 million a year and a small business that reports $1 million a year in income, because that small business will be employing a lot of people. And so if you have a big tax hike on that person who's making $1 million a year with a small business, then inevitably it's going to slow the economy, slow innovation, and slow employment.
So what do you think of the Tax Foundation estimates? I found them quite interesting, our friend Scott Hodge. They're looking at almost a 1% loss in GDP over time, 159,000 jobs, which seems low to me, but then they say you lose almost 1% in wages over time, and if you're at the bottom 20% of the earners, Kevin, you'd lose 1.5% in after-tax income. I don't know whether you've run any numbers on this. Those are pretty negative numbers, but do you have any add-ons to that?
Yeah. First, I can say that the tax foundation model is really cutting edge. It's really good. They're very good at estimating long-run impacts of things, and so if you have a big tax change like this, they can tell you exactly what it'll do to the economy in a way that I think is proven really accurate. If you look at the things they've said about, like, for example, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that was passed under the Trump administration. The thing they can't do, of course, is look at really short-term Keynesian policies, but their estimates of long-run policies have proven pretty reliable. And so, yeah, I would say that if I did, get the old Brainiac model going again from CEA and run the numbers. Remember, Casey Mulligan helped us build a model over at CEA that's sort of like the Tax Foundation model. I think we'd get about the same answer. So the fact is that I always expected, and I think you probably did too, that the Biden administration would sort of postpone discussion of tax increases at a moment when they were like throwing a big stimulus at the economy, because the tax increase is the opposite of stimulus. And so why would you be sort of pushing and pulling at the same time, like that critter in Dr. Dolittle that's got a head on both sides, right? And so, but yet here they are talking about tax hikes. It's really quite a puzzle to me.
All you do is create supply-side disincentives. All right, you're paying people to work less. You're paying them less. It's crazy. And you're right, it offsets the demand-side stimulus also. Kevin, last point. Look, you, for years, wrote about this. I and others echoed you. The biggest beneficiaries of lowering the corporate tax were not rich people. They were middle-income people and less. The blue collars and less. Now, I have tried to make this point, Kevin. I testified yesterday in some panel. All the congressmen, all the Democrats did is attack me personally. I mean, they will not focus, and the numbers back you up just for a couple of years. The numbers back you up. We have to make this point. It isn't the rich who will suffer from this. It is the middle income and less who will suffer from jacking up the corporate tax.
Right, and their proposal, and you mentioned this in your intro, because you cut right to the chase in a really effective way. The thing is that not only are they raising the corporate tax back up to the highest on earth, so that it's going to have a big negative effect on incentives for people to do anything here, but they're also putting in this sort of global minimum tax. They're talking about it, which is just going to make everybody move their headquarters overseas to, like, sort of Daimler-Chrysler is going to be the Daimler-Chryslerization of America. Because if you're overseas, you can avoid those crazy high U.S. Global minimum taxes, but if you're headquartered in the U.S., you can't. And so people are just going to invert. And then what they're going to do is they're going to try to stop inversion, but financial transactions get too complicated. In the end, the law can't stay ahead of them. And so what they're trying to do, once again, is chase jobs overseas. That's a recipe for a repeat of the Obama years, where you can go 8 years with virtually no wage growth because you don't have a friendly environment for people who create jobs, drive up the demand for wages and wages themselves.
Thank you, Kevin. Absolutely. Thanks. Spot on.